Hello everyone. I will quickly explain you about OpenTelemetry and how you can use it using a sample application also coded in Java. So OpenTelemetry, if you quickly want to understand, it basically helps you to understand what is going on inside your application. It's a observability framework which provides some set of APIs, and using those APIs you can understand what is and using those APIs you can see what is going inside your application. It helps you to generate the traces inside your application or metrics or logs. When I say trace, so trace is something which is end to end. For example, in this case, on the screen, you assume that there are three microservices A, B, and C, and these three microservices are. So, for example, the request is coming to microservice A, and then it is flowing to B, and then it's flowing to C, and you want to see how much time it is taking from A to B and B to C, and in case if there are any issues between B to C or any issues in between A to B, so you can all visualize this what is going on inside our application. This is called a trace, which helps OpenTelemetry to generate. And second thing which OpenTelemetry helps is to generate the metrics. Using metrics, you can see, you can calculate, you can generate custom metrics. For example, you can say, okay, how much time my request is taking, or how many requests are coming up, or any custom metrics you can in your app, you can assume in your application, maybe any counter or anything, and then you can generate those metrics, and you can export these metrics to OpenTelemetry collector. And third thing which OpenTelemetry supports is logs. Logs, for logs, it doesn't provide any framework or any library like which we have existing. It doesn't override that. For example, we are using, in case if you are using Log4j, for example, so it is not providing an API to generate logs. It just takes those logs. It is a using a bridge pattern. It takes those logs and export these logs to also to the OpenTelemetry collector and attach these logs to a traces, because everything what is coming up inside OpenTelemetry will be part of the trace. So that's how it supports all these three things. Next thing is, I just want to show you that, for example, in case of how it works. So for example, this is your microservice, service A, and then service A is generating some traces. So it will generate some traces here. It will send to the OpenTelemetry collector, and then OpenTelemetry collector will send to the Elastic, to the Grafana, to the Prometheus. So whatever exporters you have configured from OpenTelemetry collector, it will send to any number of OpenTelemetry collectors. So this is the advantage of OpenTelemetry. For example, in case if you are using Elastic or you're using Zager, so you don't need to use their custom libraries. You just need to use OpenTelemetry collector. It's a vendor neutral. There is no vendor lock-in here. You just use OpenTelemetry APIs, and then internally OpenTelemetry collector will take care of exporting to different backends, where which ultimately you will use to visualize your data. So this is the advantage of OpenTelemetry. I will show you one example. So this is a Grafana dashboard, which right now is running on my laptop, and on this I'm running a simple Spring Boot Java service, and I created some traces here, and I just want to show you how quickly a trace looks like. So this is a sample trace, and if you click on the trace, you see that, okay, the request has come on this controller and it took this much time. So in case if, let's suppose, there are multiple services or multiple other component, third party components, it will show you everything that, okay, the request is flown from this to this and this to this. Now I'm showing you that how you can run your Docker Compose for the hotel collector. I'm using one sample. Basically, what it does, it starts your Grafana, and it also starts your hotel collector. And so hotel collector, it's using this image hotel slash open telemetry collector 0.86.0 version, and then it is also using a Grafana here. So because I will use Grafana to visualize the data, and I will use a sample microservice which I just created to generate the traces. Now there is some configuration required for hotel collector. So if you can see that, what it has, it supports the OTLP uh, protocol, and it has basically protocols which are supported are gRPC and HTTP. And then you have to configure your receivers and exporters. So for example, in case of traces, I'm saying, okay, I will receive the data in using the OTLP format, and I will export the data in the OTLP format. And that's a very simple configuration. Right now I'm doing it, and right now I will export my data to the Tempo. So Tempo is developed by Grafana. It's like a data backend where you can push your data to a Tempo backend. Tempo as a, you can assume it as a database where you can query your data or something, and you can push your data. The auto collector, whatever traces it will get from the application, it will push to Tempo, and then we can visualize these traces. So first of all, I will run my hotel collector. Okay, now my hotel collector is up. Its Tempo is up, Grafana is up, and hotel collector all are up. It's ready to receive the data. Now I will run my Spring Boot controller, and we can using a simple test case. And this test, what it does, it just hits one API written in a controller, employee controller. It has almost nothing, just a bare minimum to receive a request, and it will just send some dummy data. It is a get mapping slash employee, and it will return some data. So this controller, this IT test will hit this API, and you will get back the data. Now, how the question is that how OpenTelemetry is getting integrated here. So to integrate the OpenTelemetry, I am using this Java agent. If you see here, OpenTelemetry hyphen Java. And so Java agent basically it injects it injects in your bytecode that what is required to generate the traces at the runtime. So you just what you need to do, you just need to configure it, and if you see the configuration right now here, I have provided Java agent as a config as a parameter here, that hyphen Java agent, and that this is the path of the Java agent which I'm passing in. So when I pass this Java agent, automatically OpenTelemetry will start injecting the will start generating the traces for my application whenever it is receiving the request or writing the request, or returning the response. All the in all and all the edge wherever request is coming inside at the edge of my application or going out, it will generate the traces automatically. I've not written any single code here right now. So I will run my test case. So you can see that it is saying that OpenJDK 64-bit sharing is only supported. Then it says that total Java agent. You can see that Java agent is running right now. Now I just hit one API. It returned the response body of this. Okay, and now I can see that this trace must be pushed to the hotel collector, and then this trace is we can visualize in our Grafana dashboard. So if we go to our Grafana dashboard now here, and I click refresh here, you see that a trace is generated just now, 104 and time is 105 here. So if you see that it generated a trace here right now, and now you can it hits this API. It took this much of time, and these are the span attributes which automatically created by OpenTelemetry, like what was the client address, request method, status code of the response, network peer details, then server port, thread ID. All these things are getting generated automatically in the span. So uh, not just this, you can also inject some custom attributes in your span. There are ways to do that. Maybe let's suppose you can use the interceptor here, where Spring interceptor, where you can inject some custom attributes in span. So that's how it works. That was a small brief about it. I will share the code also on GitHub so that you can check out. Thank you.